This week, we want to know your Disney confessions, and we're going to tell you ours. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 738 for the week of September 9th, 2014. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Jenny Lynn Knopp, sitting in for Pete Werner this week. And I'm joined at the table by my very good friends, Sean Thompson, Kathy Whirling, Teresa Eccles, and Julie Martin. And then back in the production nook is our associate producer, Craig Williams. All right, well, we have an interesting segment for you today. We're going to be talking about confessions. Now, we all know that hardcore Disney fans do things a little bit differently. Sometimes these behaviors can seem a bit strange, and sometimes Disney fans, or often Disney fans, hide them. But we're going to come squeaky clean with those today, and we have a few of them that we're going to talk about of our own personal lives, and we're also hoping that you in the chat room today will be participating as well and giving us your confessions. We have Sean and Julie watching the chat room, and they're going to be representing your voice as we discuss all these very strange and unusual things that are a little bit peculiar and specific to the Disney community.
Should we make them anonymous and not?
Oh no, I'm calling them out.
In addition to that, we also have some confessions that I brought back from my mommy blogger days, and we're going to start off with a few of those. So, confession number 1 was brought into us by a Disney wife, Lisa, in Kazakhstan, and she writes, "I opened a new bank account to save for my next Disney vacation. It's completely concealed from my husband. We live overseas, and there are no luxuries to spend on anything out here at all. So I figure that stashing away $60 a month is perfectly fine."
Very nice.
Do we have anything, any type of response to this?
I don't see that as a problem. But I had a husband and I had a budget for food and whatever, and if I went over, that was up to me to make it work, and if it was under, I got to keep. So if I wanted to put it in a checking, I wasn't into Disney back then, but I think that's okay to do.
Craig has a funny look on his face.
I mean, no, I'm not touching that one.
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
Me neither.
Well, I'll touch it. You really think she's from Kazakhstan?
She was.
I don't think that's the issue. I think
That's the part that you have issue with.
I'm not worried about her safety hiding stuff from her husband.
Yeah, he could technically cut off her hands, I believe,
Yeah,
for that.
that's I have like there are different rules over there, right? I mean, like when
I think this was maybe like a military family or something.
Okay, good, because I was
Okay,
really
because I
worried for her
totally
safety.
thought that they were like regular people.
Yeah, no, I think that they are Americans living over in
Okay, good.
Kazakhstan.
Oh, okay. Hide the money then. We all do it.
Well, that's kind of that's kind of what I thought. We all kind of manipulate situations at times in order to, get
we just
get
don't
what
have
we
to
want
save for our trip to Disney. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's not usually like a week or a 2-week trip for us. It's a day trip.
Right,
You know.
right. And my thought is that as long as it wasn't affecting the family's quality of life,
Yeah.
then maybe there was no harm, no foul. But if there was any way possible for her to kind of like warm her husband up to the idea of budgeting for Disney, that would be the better route. Us women in our wily ways, we know how to work this
But
a little bit.
some guys, if they knew that she was collecting the money, it's
Collecting it how?
No, I mean holding on to the money, having her own. Then he would probably say, "Well, hey, I can go out and do this or that because you're already got the Disney vacation taken care of."
So you think she should keep it a secret?
Yes, until it gets closer and say, "Oh, honey, look, I
found.
I found, I've been saving."
I found $3,000. We can go to Disney.
No, you just say, "I've been trying to put a little money aside because I knew like you were concerned about us going to Disney. Here, I've helped you out." And
Do you think that would maybe have a negative effect when he found out, like,
No.
now I don't like Disney because you're hiding secrets
You're a
from
lying,
me?
horrible wife.
Helped
like
you
the-
out, Kathy? Like, he's the sole breadwinner, and she's like in her
She
heels
could
and her
be.
little apron, and
oh, geez, don't go there because you know I'm not like that.
I don't know. Next confession.
Okay. Confession number 2. Oh, wait, Sean, did you have something you were?
Oh no, that confession stressed me out. So I think we should move on.
Okay. Confession number 2. Disney dad Ben writes, I am a law student, and when lectures get too boring, I find myself browsing Disney websites instead of taking notes. So we're talking about daydreaming about Disney.
In law school?
In law
That's
school.
really hard school. That's what I've heard.
Keeping in mind, he's probably hopefully a lawyer by now or working at Disney.
Let's hope so. What do you guys think about that?
I think-
The constant daydreaming about Disney when
I
you're
think
supposed to be
probably
doing other
most
things.
people, in one way, shape, or form, ask the listeners, like with the podcasts and stuff, that are at work, that are watching the podcast.
And minimize their screen when their boss walks
yes,
by.
you know,
I think as long as it's the Diz, it's fine.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's pretty common for Disney files. Daydreaming, we just do it. And, the truth is, with our society, we always have our phones with us or something with us. We kind of, I think now, are leaning towards that, scooting in those little distractions throughout the day regardless. So a Disney fan's going to manifest that in a Disney manner, right?
The daydreaming's okay. Just you have to balance where it comes into your life. So if you're a doctor and performing surgery, you probably
Right,
don't want to
right.
be daydreaming about Disney. And the same goes for the lawyer. If I can have their name after the show, I'll never hire them, just because I think they might have missed a couple things here and there. But it might be something, daydream after you get home and you don't want to listen to your kids, or you don't really find Wheel of Fortune that interesting that night. So
I have to interject. This has nothing to do with what you just read, but this one makes me giggle.
Okay.
So, Cindy Schroeder, I have dressed up in one of my prom dresses, put on a playlist of Disney songs, think the ones that the princess sing, and put on a show pretending I'm a princess when I'm home. It's amazing.
How long?
Wait, is she home alone?
Alone.
How long has she been locked up?
Is she an adult?
I'm assuming it doesn't list her age.
She's putting on her princess dress and
Her
singing
old prom dress.
her old prom dress.
Yes.
You guys, I'm
and
not above
weeps
this.
in the mirror.
I am not above this. This might be something that I would do. And props to you for still fitting in that prom dress.
Yeah, really.
not that there's anything wrong with that.
I'm gonna do one more, okay? So, Paige Liu, she forces her husband to take video of everything in the parks. And let me preface this by saying that her husband is not as big of a fan as she is. And then she forces him to watch them when they go home over and over.
That's a young
And so I'm
marriage. If
wondering,
he
like-
still does that, that's.
I'm like wondering, like,
right?
what does he film? Like the park bench, like the water fountain, or is it just like
A hotel
just
Are you doing the
randomness,
robot right now?
You know,
If
You're voguing and doing the robot.
that was me videoing.
my guess,
That's how you do it, actually. I think Craig, that's how he does it too.
I love the expressions on Craig's face during this segment right now. It's kind of fantastic.
I mean, some of these are just really great.
Well, going back to what Paige said, my guess, because my dad used to do this when we would go on our Disney vacations, which was once or twice a year, he would videotape everything. And when I say everything, I don't mean the people on vacation. I mean the park, what was going on in the parks, especially being on the rides. Probably the biggest fail was when he tried to videotape Space Mountain because you can't see anything. So we have, I don't know, what is it? 3 minutes, 4 minutes of home video where it's just
Dark and shaky.
yeah, with the noise in the back.
I wasn't paying attention and that scared me.
I was watching and it scared me.
So I'm guessing that is what she means. But I think that's also a common practice, except for maybe it's a little bit more updated these days, where people will go to YouTube and watch not just their own videos, but everyone else's videos.
how many of these people that you see in the park that are videoing maybe they go home and watch it once. Is it something you watch more than once?
Well, I don't know. I have to say in our family, and I've already said we're weird, but we would regularly watch those videos. We would regularly watch our video, probably our home videos of our vacations to Disney. We watched more than any other home videos that we watched.
As a family? You sit down and watch them all together?
Sometimes, and then sometimes it was just, factions of the family. I don't know what a couple of us here, a couple of us there. I actually know someone that will, she videotapes the fireworks shows, and then at night before they go to bed, her little girl will watch the fireworks show every night before she goes to sleep.
So she can't sleep without fireworks.
She's got to have those Disney fireworks.
Okay.
This is a true story. I'm not exaggerating here.
Different people like different things, but
Well,
as much as I like Disney, I don't know that I would do that.
That one's not weird. I watch all of the videos on youtube.com/wdwinfo as often as I possibly can.
Yeah, but when the child's an adult, say 35, married, and she pops in the fireworks in the bedroom at night so she can go to sleep because she can't sleep without it, I think that's...
Okay, you also are talking to the person that when they stay at the Disneyland hotel, they sleep with the Kiss Goodnight lights on at the bed. If you're familiar with that.
I am.
Yeah, I sleep with that on all the time.
I'd do that.
Yeah, but you can get to sleep without it. I'm just saying.
I don't know about that.
If you got,
Is that why you haven't slept in 2 years?
Exactly. I'm running haggard.
haggard,
Feel so haggard.
so haggard.
Well, we have another confession. This is an interesting one. I'm definitely going to I want to hear what you all have to say about this.
Gosh.
Disney mom Molly writes, I have to confess that I feel like a traitor if I let my kids enjoy anything that isn't Disney. My 4-year-old has been asking to play computer games on Nick Jr., and I want to tell him no.
That's just wrong and mean.
Well, she's not saying that she actually did it. She's just saying this is her impulse.
Finley likes My Little Pony, and that's not Disney. It doesn't, put a knife in my heart.
All 32 of her My Little Ponies.
One by one.
Craig's been introduced to everyone.
This scares me a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Go ahead.
I don't know. It's like something you'd see on a TLC special. Crazy Disney fans.
Yeah.
Just let your kid like what they want to like.
Right.
And
Yeah, I think that makes your life easier because we've all had kids and they'll latch onto something that if that keeps them happy, you're like, go ahead.
And just
Play
because
with
you're a
it, do
Disney fan doesn't mean your children are going to be. And you can force them to go on vacation with you when they're little. But don't, stuff it down their throat when they're home if it's not really what they want. I have 3 kids and they're not all into Disney.
I think one of them isn't to Disney enough for the other 2.
So
Very true.
I have to confess, I actually had this struggle when my kids were little because I was so loyal to the Disney brand that I wanted their whole world to be consumed by the Disney brand. But as you're saying, as they got older and they started to have interests of their own, I started to kind of panic because I wanted them to love Disney as much as I loved Disney. So I had to get really creative in justifying this for myself. And this might be something, I don't know if this is only Molly's struggle or if some of you out there have this struggle as well with brand loyalty. But I justified it because Disney incorporates different brands into their parks and different things that they're doing all the time now. We've got Starbucks in the parks or, there's a Rainforest Cafe in downtown Disney and, they have their version of Build-A-Bear. It's that Build-A-Dino, thing. So I kind of use that as my crutch to justify, all right, you can like Build-A-Bear because they had Maxine Clark of, the Build-A-Bear Kingdom speak at the first Social Media Moms Conference, and then I was fine with it. I don't know, somehow that eased my conscience a little bit. But, there's some cases where you can't do that. And in those instances, I agree with you, Teresa, that you need to let your kid kind of go. Well, or maybe have them do equal time, like with this computer game.
Equal time,
thing.
you will watch Disney.
Maybe I don't know. maybe have them play on the Nick Jr. site and then also play on the Disney site.
It would be really sad if the kid is missing out on other non-Disney stuff. Like, take for instance the Peanuts holiday specials. Like,
I
It's
agree.
a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and all that. Like,
All that stuff.
that's really sad if they're missing out on it because their parents holding out for Disney stuff. Not that there isn't some quality programming and other stuff from Disney, but even going as far as I would say, like, let your kid watch Looney Tunes rather than watch some of the new crap shows that they have on.
Just watch
on
Itchy
Disney
and
Channel.
Scratchy.
Or
Jeez.
just watch I don't know, nothing.
I agree. I agree.
And the same goes for, when your kids are little, your children are small, Julie, yours are young. You can put Disney things in their room and you can decorate for them, but at some point they're
may
going to
get their
start shredding
own.
the sheets and throwing the crap out on your desk. And not that happens at my house, but, it's
You have
gonna,
a sheet shredder?
sheet shredder. But they're gonna say, it's cute, it's nice, but I like this more, or I'm more interested in this.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, my kids weren't old enough. We weren't into Disney when they were younger. We started coming, they were 9, 12, and 15. So they didn't really grow up with Disney, but now 2 of them actually work for Disney. So it's not like you have to have Disney in your life to end up there.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing, too. I think that probably a lot of people find this. Even if you let your kids go their own way with whatever they like in their interests, as, they should have the freedom to do that. A lot of times, as we grow up, we get sentimental and nostalgic about the things that were in our childhood. And if, when they were young and you had more control over it and were decorating their rooms for Disney, or you took them on their Disney vacations all the time, I think a lot of times people return to that.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
So, because that's kind of where I come full circle with this is, or I did in my own personal life, kind of letting it go and just hoping, and believing that most likely my kids are going to be big fans of the Disney brand as I was, because they have an attachment to me and I have an attachment to that. So, all right. Well, before we go on with more that I have, I wanted to open it up.
I've collected a few.
Okay.
So, Karen Telemantis, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Karen. She says that I confess I check the ride weights every single day, and I'm nowhere near the parks.
Oh, I read that. Yeah.
So
It's a little something there.
I don't know. I think if you're curious, I mean, if I were in Magic Kingdom right now, what would the wait for a Jungle Cruise be? You're sitting on the toilet. I don't know what you're doing, but you're just.
I can see that. I have things that I check on every day that aren't Disney related, but I'm not going to say what it is. That I do it every day just to
The Ann Taylor Loft message boards.
just to stay connected with what I like.
Yeah.
So
this is the Disney version of that. I think that's interesting, actually. Maybe she's
That's a good
gathering her own information for when she actually
Can I
does
just
get
say, poor Nevin. I've been reading all of
Okay,
Pages.
I think we could make a whole show about Paige's confessions. Actually,
just confessing one after another.
I have another one actually.
Oh my!
When I'm working out, I use the old Disneyland sing-alongs to run on the TV. So she watches.
She's using
the
it in her
sing-along.
fitness
The ones
routine.
with like the bouncing ball that
Yeah.
shows you what to say.
I love those.
I have a few of those actually. I like those videos.
Disneyland one is the
Nevin,
best.
honey, you need to call me. We'll work you through it.
I have on my iPod, I have a whole lot of music from the Disney attractions. And when I'm on the plane, I listen to it. And, it relaxes me. I think that's...
No, I do listen to Disney music when I'm working as a travel agent because I guess that's,
Yeah, I
it
actually
helps
have.
you stay in the happy mood you should be in when you're selling
Unless
travel.
you're on hold for 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
I actually have a confession that corresponds with that. A Disney dad in Corey in Texas, he writes, I play Disney ride soundtracks in my office. I'm obsessed with my 27-minute track of the Haunted Mansion, complete with breakdown announcements. So it's the same thing, maybe a little bit more in depth because he's got the actual breakdown announcements in his soundtrack. But, it's a way of connecting and feeling like that you're there without being able to be there.
And it's a way to take a little stress off your life. That I like the music from Soarin'. And if I'm on a plane and it's just very relaxing and you can just sort of, it's like you make your own video in your head of what might be going on when the music's playing. It relaxes me.
Disney's always done a really good job of trying to get their music out there, and so it's always been something that you can take home after your trip and listen to it. And I think a lot of people actually respond more to Disney music in general in their daily lives than a lot of other things are just looking at a picture. I mean, whenever I do work out, I listen to some of the background loops for the areas in the parks, because those are about 40 minutes sometime. It varies. They're usually that long, but you know,
That's how long you do jazzercise for?
that is. I'm getting really good at prancercising also, just in case anyone was wondering. But it works. Yeah. I like
brony.
music.
He is a brony.
He's a brony.
Yeah.
He's a brony.
Sir was a brony.
Well, and the truth is also fundamentally in doing that, in listening to the songs, that's doing it to take you to that place, you're really fundamentally you're associating it with like really good memories of things that you did with people that you love. So and that's actually a very healthy thing, I think. And also, I don't see the difference between doing this and maybe a coworker or whoever it is that has some kind of obsession with 80s music. It's the same idea, just a different manifestation of it. What else do we have?
Okay. Robert Ross says, I have a confession that I carry around with me a separate container that I use to collect.
What's he collecting?
Let me get through it. Used to collect all of the Mickey head confetti at the restaurants where we eat. Then when I'm at home, I spread them on the bed for grown-up time. No, he does not say that. I apologize. I edited the end of it. He spreads them on the dinner table.
I liked your version better because I could incorporate that with Kelvin wearing the Mickey ears.
Let's hear about it. What just happened?
I'm kidding.
Well, when they used to have the printed napkins and the colorful silverware, when we used to live in Pennsylvania, I would take extra so that we could have like a Disney night at home. And that was always a big deal that, hey, kids, we're going to pretend like we're at Disney tonight. But now it's just, generic everything.
I do that at Chipotle as well, too. I collect handfuls of napkins.
It's so embarrassing being with him at Chipotle.
So every night I feel like I'm eating at Chipotle because I haven't bought paper towels in about 2-3 years now.
Craig,
we're not talking.
I do the very same thing, and it's from Chipotle too.
Thank you.
We're not talking like this size
they
stack.
special
We're
or
talking
what?
like this many napkins from Chipotle.
I think you should just keep the camera on Teresa because she just keeps sitting there with that look.
Craig, you need help, son. I'm sorry.
Listen, whenever you're
Did your daddy not teach you?
when you're
anything?
slightly poor, you find ways around the system.
He's saving money on napkins.
Exactly.
I know because I'm there with you.
Since Ferris isn't here, I'm gonna confess something for him. He loves to go in his sister's room and dress up like a princess. His current favorites are Anna, Cinderella, or Tinkerbell, which she's technically not a princess, but
But he's openly doing. He's not hiding and.
no, he doesn't.
And she's
hide.
okay with it.
Well, he has to sneak in there when she's not looking, and then all of a sudden he comes out and we're like, "Oh, Princess Anna."
Max used to do that.
So cute.
I mean, I don't care. He's 5,
Right.
Yeah.
and he loves it.
Yeah.
If that keeps him happy and why not?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like I said, I'm not above dressing up in my old prom dress and pretending to be a princess either.
We don't. If you went to our house, we don't have like Disney everything. Ours is really more like subliminal, I guess. Corey, he's a really big fan of Salvador Dali, as well as Walt Disney. They're two of his artistic heroes. And so we have 2 serigraphs from Destino, if anybody knows what that is. It's the movie they made in like the 1930s or so together. So if you didn't know what they were, you would have no idea they were Disney related. And then I have a few prints from like Festival of the Masters that I collect. A Mr. Toad, a Sleeping Beauty one, and a Mickey Mouse and a hot air balloon. And they do hang above my desk, but other than that, you won't find anything Disney except for in Ferris and Finley's rooms.
Yeah, that's about like mine. My desk, while I'm working, I've got some Disney tchotchkes, mostly retro-looking things, or Edna.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I even started with Edna, but she kind of dominates my desk.
No, go ahead.
But I can live without her, so it's not like I'm gonna freak if someone takes it all away. But
But it's still you
still there.
manifesting.
It's comforting.
Yeah,
along
exactly.
with my childhood memories.
I actually have another confession of somebody that wrote in that goes along the lines of what Julie said. Disney wife Kristen in Tennessee wrote, I have hidden Mickeys throughout my house, and only one person has ever actually noticed that they're there. So it's the same thing where it's a very subtle way of expressing, our houses, they are an expression of ourselves, and our interests. And so, of course, a Disney fan is going to do that. And there are the people that, just have hordes of Disney collections, Vinylmations and curio cabinets and videos and magazines lining the bookshelves. But
I've got a question, and what do you think of the people? And I'm not judging. I'm just asking the question.
Okay, be careful.
I'm going to be careful because I'm not judging at all. I just don't understand it. That do their Christmas trees completely in Disney.
oh, I'm that person.
Are you that person?
I am that person.
But what about the other aspects of Christmas, like baby Jesus and
Oh, well,
Oh, those ones?
the traditional Christmas things?
well, I don't know if you saw last year, but underneath our Christmas tree, we had a fair amount of Disney on our tree, but Katie recreated they were going to see the three wise men and baby Jesus was being born. We had the manger there, but then we had all kind of Disney buses and
Heading up
things.
to the manger?
Yes, underneath the tree. So we sort of did both.
It's a very creative way to incorporate both themes of Christmas.
Yes, we had the parking lot. And,
Yeah.
we sort of did a Disney and Disney meets.
I have a few Disney ornaments.
Me too, but
And they're
it's
hanging
not
proudly
all.
on my tree along with, but it's usually commemorating something like this,
Yes.
this was a trip or,
Ours are too.
or someone sent it to me and it means something to me. Or I just liked it because it was all retro-y and kitschy looking. But I just can't see doing the entire tree.
Well,
in
Teresa,
Disney.
I have a really beautiful nativity ornament that I put in the center of my tree because, like you, I believe Jesus is the reason for the season. But like most of our Disney ornaments are something that either I've collected for the kids, like every year they get to pick one that they
Right.
like. And then we have a really cool vintage one that Kenny Eddowes gave us for Corey. It's a vintage Donald ornament that used to hang on his own personal family
That's
tree.
sweet.
Oh, wow.
And so it takes a really special spot. We just got it last year. But
Your whole tree
I
is
just,
not...
I mean, I love Disney, but I'm not that crazy. I'm not going to have a whole Disney tree.
I have a whole Disney tree.
And there's
complete.
nothing on it but Disney.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it has to do with what you were saying. Like, we all get a new Disney ornament every year, each person in the family. And then we were also given a monorail, so we have a monorail that circles the tree. But I will say, I don't have everything. All of my decorations are not Disney, but the tree is. But I have a nativity scene that sits on my shelf, and I actually have a lot of snowmen. I decorate with a lot of snowmen.
a lot of snowmen.
But the tree is Disney.
Okay.
Except for the tree skirt, which is Pottery Barn.
Oh, splurge.
I just was wondering,
Well, I have a keg that goes under my Christmas tree. My Christmas
Isn't it a
keg.
Christmas
Awesome.
ale?
A Christmas ale. Wow.
I'm sad.
So, so home decor, decorating. I like it when people are more subtle about it. I think that's kind of cool. It's like a secret society type thing where, you know the inside joke.
Yeah, like the hidden Mickey lady.
Yeah.
Whoever noticed them in her house is also a big Disney fan. They have
Right.
to be.
Exactly.
Well, my office, I have a lot of Disney stuff in it, but I figure it's my office. I can decorate it how
It's
I
your whole
want.
house. You can do whatever you want.
Right. And so it's like when I look up and across the wall is a Caribbean beach picture, and I have Disney paint cans above. I have my collection of the Mickey ears. I have a wall now that's got Kevin John's pictures on it. So no matter where I look in my office,
As a KJ shrine.
So Disney stays in your office. Is Disney in your kitchen?
no,
Not at all?
no.
I would think most
but-
people, if they do it, they restrict it to a certain room. Like they have a Disney bathroom, or they have a Disney kitchen, or a Disney bedroom. I think it's rare for people to have an entire Disney house. Not that no
Oh,
one does.
I
I've
would
been in
not
a
say
few.
that. I would say
No?
that there are lots of people that
been
have
in
an
a few.
entire
house?
Disney house.
I've been in a few.
Okay.
And I found it fascinating. It just fascinates me.
But do they have other stuff? Like, I know I have something of Disney in every room of my house, which is only 3 rooms, so that's not that much. But, I have pictures, and then I have tchotchkes here and there. But then I also decorate it with other stuff. Are we talking about
Paper
strictly
plates
only?
and cans.
No, I have
It's napkins
real.
for Chipotle.
I have
Never
real
Qdoba.
stuff. Thank you. I have
What's
real
your style,
stuff.
Craig?
What's my style? I would call it chic with a bit of sophistication.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh.
You do mean to laugh.
I don't even know what I just said.
It doesn't make
I'm
sense.
trying to picture it. I'm like, wow, I'm impressed.
Like, I have to say, I'm obsessed with the little orange bird. I love him. I think he's adorable. But like when I go look at the merchandise, I'm like, I don't know where he would fit in my house.
in your world, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I love something doesn't mean I want it in my
Yeah.
house.
and
So
I
I'll
see.
buy it for someone else to see what they can do with it.
Now
I
my
guess.
bedroom and my bathroom
Mickey
that's
sheets,
connected to
Mickey sheets, Mickey
No. It's my lighthouse. I like lighthouses, so that's sort of like my nautical
So you have
area.
themed rooms.
Well, those are my office and my bedroom. I mean,
The anchors away room.
but it makes me happy. I figure it's my house. Maybe that's why I don't think I know I'm not a decorator, because I couldn't decorate my house for everybody who may come to my house. I decorated my house for me.
And you should, for sure.
And someone could walk into my kitchen and dining area and say, Lord, you love Mickey Mouse. It's red and it's yellow and it's black, but it's been that way long before.
Mickey Mouse was
Changed it.
invented?
Yes, long before Mickey came along, I was doing that. But, I never thought about it. I didn't do it because of Disney or Mickey
Yeah.
Mouse, but I just like those colors.
I actually saw
Casual,
online
chic,
once.
retro.
There was an article about people who had a house and they would theme each room after an attraction at Disney. But again, it was like that secret code type of thing. So like they had a Big Thunder Mountain Railroad room. But-
oh my God!
but it was
a
all
roller
like-
coaster bed.
no, it wasn't.
Oh my,
They
that
went
would be
with the-
fun. With the Mickey ears and the
Oh boy.
confetti. Go ahead.
Okay. No, but it was like all, the Western Big Thunder Mountain theme
Yeah.
type stuff, but it didn't like scream Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah.
Right.
That
So
type of stuff.
Western, and then they had a
And then another
futuristic room.
Yeah, and another room was, I don't remember all of the attractions, but they had different rooms. I think that's actually a very creative way to incorporate Disney if you're going to do
Right.
it, because it's subtle, and a lot of the attractions come with themes themselves. So
So if I painted my back office like purple and added a few things, people would
You
think
would
it was
be-
really subtle for Figment.
oh yeah,
I could get away with that.
Absolutely.
Maybe, I don't know.
Purple
Yeah.
room, subtle.
Purple and orange. Woohoo!
There are Disney paints, though, paint colors out
Thank
there.
you.
Oh,
So-
yes. That's what some of my paint Disney. Remember a couple years ago it was the volunteer event, and they had different paint cans. So I have those, and then somewhere along the line, Disney had some paint cans that had like paint like dripping off of it, like Disney official colors.
Took them?
No, we bought them.
Oh.
But I have like an open area, before you get up to the ceiling, where I have all my paint cans and stuff. It means something
cool.
to me.
Yeah.
All right, I have another confession, which is
Yours
completely
personal? Go ahead.
No.
Oh.
But actually, this is really applicable to me at this point in my life. Single Woman B writes, I'm a single woman that loves to go to Disney. I won't date a guy that can't understand the whole Disney thing. I've broken up with guys because of this.
Okay, I think that's a little far, I have to say, because when you told me this earlier, what if she's like throwing her soulmate out the window?
But is he really her soulmate if they don't have this big obsession in common?
Yes, he
Yeah,
could be.
he could be.
He could
Well,
be.
my late husband, I used to love going to the beach, and he wanted no parts of it. And I'd drag him along, and he'd just sort of stay in the room, for the week. But he'd let me do whatever I wanted to do. So now, as a single person who's really into Disney, I could tolerate somebody who wasn't into Disney as much as I am, but they would have to understand that Disney meant a lot to me. And if you're going to start interfering with me going to the
I understand. I understand.
It's actually a good word to use.
saying like, well, you can't go to the parks or you can't do this or that kind of stuff, then I would kick him to the curb.
Well, he's a domineering butt,
Right.
so you don't need to be with
Well,
him anyway.
Scotty P says my wife, she doesn't love Disney as much as I, and we connect on way more than that. That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
right.
I mean, your relationship has to be based on more than Disney World.
Yes.
I mean,
I would
Yes.
hope so. Yeah.
This
I
has
guess-
turned into the Disney View. It's like a ladies only show. I feel like I should move to the back.
I'm sorry, Sean. What
We'll
do
let
you
you
want to talk
interject
about?
here in a second. Well, I guess that depends on the Disney fan and the degree of the obsession. Because if a person is genuinely obsessed, like this is a consuming thing for them,
They need help.
well, they might, but a relationship with someone who doesn't share that same degree of
Well, you know what? I don't
obsession,
think
it
they'd
would
be
be
looking in
difficult.
those places anyway, right? If you're like totally and all-consuming obsessed with Disney, you're not going to go somewhere to look for a man or a woman.
You can
or a
use
mate or
disboards.com to
whatever.
find your
There you go.
We've
Then
had
you're
a
not
lot
going to
of
find
Disdating.com.
you're not going to find the person. You're going to end up with somebody like that, I think.
What
Yeah.
was her screen name again?
B. I just have B.
Okay.
B-E-E.
Never mind.
B. Arthur
I don't know, just B.
Arthur.
from the grave. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Should I read another one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I need to make it up to Robert Ross because I feel like I embarrassed him and he's no longer in chat. So I'm going to read another one of his confessions.
Take it.
My confession is that when my family travels, we always make a reservation at Kona Cafe or Cape May Cafe for breakfast in order to get into the resort parking lot and avoid having to pay for the parking.
Oh,
That is a confession, but
that's kind of like, yeah, that's interesting.
but it's also good. I mean, from the way he presented it, it seems like he does follow through with the reservation and he eats there. So I think that's a great tip.
So it's actually strategic vacation planning.
And you get a good meal out of it.
You said
Hey, look, he just said, I'm here.
Sorry, Robert Ross.
but he makes the reservation and then he eats and then he goes off to the
From
park.
what I understand, I'm not channeling him, but yeah.
Channeling him, speaking his voice for us.
All right.
Okay,
Tongue, speaking
I'm
tongues.
Robert Ross.
I'm Robert
That
Ross.
was creepy.
because see, that's where my Disney side would say you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that.
Why? If he's eating there.
If he eats there, but then you don't go off to the park and leave your car in the parking lot.
Why?
Why?
Oh, you're getting nitpicky.
Why?
Just being
You think he's
really
cheating?
legalistic.
You think he's cheating?
I'm just saying that the next person then that wants to come eat at whatever restaurant and you've taken a spot or you're staying at that resort and you can't find a parking spot because somebody's
So let me ask you this. If you have a reservation in the morning for Kona Cafe, you eat your breakfast, and then you say, oh, I want to go to Magic Kingdom, you would make the effort to move your car to the Magic Kingdom parking lot?
I would have parked my car in the Magic Kingdom parking
Well, if
lot
you're
to
eating
begin-
if you're eating breakfast and you decide to go to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, like,
It's
yes,
the same-
I
it's the
probably
same
would
issue.
move my car.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
But that's just me.
Well,
all right.
Thank you for clearing up a parking space for the rest of us who
We'll stay there all day long.
Leave our cars there.
And I won't even eat a meal.
I don't know who it was, but earlier someone mentioned that they will peruse the Disney menus when they're not anywhere near Walt Disney World and play What Would I Have If I Was There Today?
Oh, wow.
That has a sad outcome, though.
They're not going
When
to
you
get
go to your lean cuisine.
It's not the same.
Well, even along those lines, when I lived in Pennsylvania and I'd be on the Diz boards and people would be posting pictures all the time that it's like, it's a cold, snowy day, there's 3 feet of snow outside my window. I would look at what was going on down at Disney World. And I've said this a number of times that, that when I finally was lucky enough to be able to move here, that I wanted to be able to repay that favor. So I started posting pictures on the Diz because, I like the fact that there's this big community of people who get it. And so I posted my pictures so that other people who were back at their house could see them. And I can remember when the hurricanes came through the first time, and I was taking pictures of the hold downs. There's like little screw holes in the sidewalk, and I took pictures of all kind of things, and people went, oh, thank you. I always wondered what they did. So, I might think it's weird taking a picture of something, but I know that there's somebody else out there in the Disney community that enjoys seeing that kind of stuff. And they can't be here, and I'm here. It's the least I can do.
Yeah. Okay, I have to say, this one, so the lady I was talking about earlier, her name's Christina, by the way. She's like, that's me. But she has another confession that I'm really impressed with.
Okay.
When her sister was on the college program back in the early 90s, one of her coworkers snuck a Domino's pizza and a bottle of Captain Morgan into the Magic Kingdom. She says, best lunch ever. I don't know how you got the captain in there, but I'm just not sure how you got the pizza.
Wow.
You're allowed to bring food in there.
But, well, they snuck it in. But
If
I
it's
mean,
in a
like,
cooler, you can bring your own lunches and
I
stuff.
know, but like, if you put the pizza in a backpack, it's going to get ruined. Like, I'm totally trying to figure out how they got this pizza in without, like, ruining it.
We need clarity.
Oh.
Wow.
Because you're not the first person to sneak alcohol into the Magic Kingdom.
Yes, she is. Shh.
That is a really serious confession.
I
Right
actually
there.
have a really good one from the same person, Christina. And this one's actually really kind of, I don't know, it's sweet, but I don't know, kind of sad at the same time. Every time I leave Disneyland Park, I turn to the fire station's second floor, blow a kiss, and say, thanks, Walt.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's a really
Yeah.
nice like little tradition. We're all melting. Aw.
I don't think I could ever do it. I'd be embarrassed.
Visually, so everyone can see.
Well, I think she goes, attention, attention, everybody. Please watch me do this. And then she does a real dramatic.
Wow.
Oscar-worthy performance.
Yeah.
Okay, along those, geez, I'm going to come off like the weirdest person on the planet
We already
for
know, but
all
go
of
ahead.
these. But back before, Pete and the Diz paid for my annual pass, I had a thing that as my, because I would try to time it so, to a payday or whatever to get the next annual pass. So I sort of like knew when I was going to buy the next annual pass, but I would do a farewell to the parks before my annual pass ran out.
Song and dance or what?
No, just go to each park like, okay, it might be a couple weeks before I come back and see you. It's just my silent, and Kitty goes, oh, Mom, get real. You live here. You can go to the parks whenever. But in my world, not going to a park in 2
Not
weeks.
having the option to go to the park.
Right. To know that I couldn't go to the parks when I wanted to, and it might be 2 weeks before I get back to a park. So I would do a farewell to the parks and ride my favorite thing in each park.
Look
I'm
at
just
Craig.
hearing James Blunt, Goodbye My Lover in my head.
Well, when we first moved here, I didn't have an AP yet, and there was a problem with me getting one because there ended up being a complication with my marriage license and my social security card and whatever. So it took a really long time for me to get an AP. So instead, I would take the kids and we would just go to Disney property and do the things that we could do for free. So we'd go just to ride the monorail and ride the monorail a little bit. Or we'd go and we would just sit in the Grand Floridian lobby and, the kids would dance around to the piano in the lobby and that kind of stuff because I wanted to be at Disney, but I couldn't be in the parks. So we just, we did it no AP style for a while until I was able to get mine. But do we have anything else?
I have one that I believe to be a sin against Epcot. And it's from Jillian Smith.
Oh, bring it on.
She said that she has hardly been in spent any extended time in any of the countries besides the UK. And I know why, because probably for beer, but it really hurts my heart because I go in every country every time I'm there. Like, I love to go in the shops. I love to look around. I have to watch the France movie. Welcome to France.
Julie
It's
is
just
an
my
equal
favorite.
opportunist.
Well, when we first started coming to Disney, I never went back to World Showcase till I lived here. So that was 6-7 years. We just always, and Epcot to us was a really big deal to get to go to Epcot. We just always
Tell
did
us
Future
why.
World.
What were you going to Epcot for?
Figment. Jeez, Teresa.
Just wanted you to say it out loud.
Yes, Figment. And Innoventions, back when Innoventions was cool.
Are you you're acting like a police investigator or something?
Your posture is tell us why.
A little bit hostile.
You're leaning into the
I just everything Kathy's saying today. She's just like a big old freak. I didn't know she known her for 7-8 years. And good God.
And this is why we call them confessions. Okay, I have another confession that was sent in by a grandma who signed her confession Anonymous. And she writes, I'm a church organist. The week before every trip, I play Disney music for the prelude and again at the end of Mass. So she's talking about bringing Disney into her career, which
And the church is okay with this?
I don't know if they know the difference. If she's playing something instrumental.
On an organ, it doesn't sound the same.
Well, but how many times do you see people on the Diz that ABC uses the music from Illuminations quite often, and people go, I was watching the news and they played Illuminations.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's okay to do.
Yeah.
In a church, though?
Yeah, that kind of.
That's
I think that actually makes church kind of cool.
I actually like that idea.
I normally hate it, but that makes it worth it.
Now I'll go.
I'm just gonna shut up.
Kathy, I'm with you.
I just think it's kind of odd. Okay, so it's Catholic, right?
Well, she says mass.
Mass, so we're assuming it's
that
Catholic,
it is.
right?
I'm sure.
So that's what you Catholics can do. Baptists, they would call that
I
right
don't
out.
think you really can do it. She probably just
Maybe it's just in her head, and
Could
she's
be
not really
that,
playing
too.
it out loud.
I think she's really playing it.
She's also locked
Teresa.
up, I think.
'Cause, you get in a Baptist church, they're gonna know that's not.
That's not how great thou art.
I think
No, that's right.
I think that the bigger picture here is the idea of bringing Disney into your career if you don't don't work at Disney. You know, how many of us do that? I think a lot of us do. I
I have a big cruise ship at my work. Oh wait, I work for a travel agent.
yeah, all of us kind of
Travel.
we have made it our careers, but like I know lawyers that have, the desk ornaments, that are Disney, and I know lab technicians that wear a Disney shirt under their white lab coat every single day. I know a teacher that has his desks in a hidden Mickey formation. I think there's a lot of people.
I
Does
mean-
anybody?
Oh, I understand with
needs
the
to be-
teacher. I mean, it's like I looked at the photos of Nicole Mancini, her classroom, and she has a lot of inspirational Disney posters.
Which, by the way,
And
isn't there?
it's amazing. I
on
have to
Facebook
say, I was
about
like, I wish my 5th grade classroom looked like that.
Yeah, right?
But
Right.
once again, there just needs to be boundaries. I'm going to call upon the Friends episode where the baby, I believe it was, is it Phoebe's triplets?
Oh, yes.
And Fonzie, the Fonzie doctor?
Yes.
There needs to be a separation. If you're in some type of profession, keep your obsessions out of what you're doing in the workplace.
Well, but that's where you can be subtle. So, for example, the church organist,
No.
the
If she's
people may
piping
not.
out
That's
If
not
she's-
subtle.
If she's playing
the Mickey Mouse
Illuminations
Club, then
for
come on.
No.
It's the Mickey Mouse Club.
Let's give the ladies
she
some
could do
credit.
hot dog. That
I'm assuming that she was playing something like the Illuminations music.
we will go on. That's very inspirational.
Yeah,
That could
Tapestry
work in
of
a-
Dreams, or whatever, something like. I'm assuming something along those lines, so that it's very subtle. Like, for example, okay, so I used to work in a restaurant, and everything that you do in a restaurant is there's an order to it, and there's things you have to dress a certain way, you have to talk a certain way, you have to look a certain way. But still, whenever anybody would ask me where the restroom is, well, I'd do a Disney 2-finger point.
Oh, I still do that.
And that was my way of kind of being the Disney fan at work.
Or is it just ingrained into you to do that because that's the way you like to point?
No, it was because I know that at Disney they do a 2-finger point.
It's because it's not as.
Well, I know why they do it, but I'm just saying. So you took that on, and you're thinking, "Ooh, here's my little bit of
That was the only thing I could do,
Okay.
so that's what I did.
interesting."
I think Teresa's like the judge today. I feel really
I'm
bad.
not being judgy, really. I'm just
Yes, you are.
No judgment zone.
I'm not judging anybody.
I agree with you on this one, Teresa. Yeah. It's wrong.
Thank you.
I can't do Disney 2-finger point.
No, I hate the Disney 2-finger point. I prefer the universal whole hand because they're going to welcome you out with their entire hand and not just 2 fingers.
Because kind
Disney tells you to do
kind of
either.
airplane-ish, right? Like, let's go
Really?
the airplane this way.
I know. I kind of like it. Well, anyway, do we have anything else happening in chat?
Everyone's talking about Apple stuff.
Okay, well then no.
Corey teases me because I watch Watts. Once Upon a Time.
Oh God, I forgot it already.
Just had to say
I did just forget it.
had to say it again.
And I'm not the only person that calls it this. All the fans do. So I'm just, becoming a new fan. I've just recently started watching it over the summer. Taylor and I watched the first 44 episodes in 3 weeks. And I've started season 3, which has introduced Ariel to me, which is totally cool.
No spoilers. I haven't watched it yet.
Well, telling you who's on the show is not
Okay,
spoiling
okay,
anything.
okay.
And Peter Pan and things like that. But he actually came to bed while I was still watching an episode, and he started to talk to me, and I was like, no talking. I'm like, I'm watching my show. But I've always loved fairy tales, and Disney especially. I grew up only with the movies. I really wasn't as familiar with the parks because I visited one time between the age of 5 and 20. But I love it. I love that they are real people. I love that they have brought them to the adulthood. I just can't get enough.
Yeah. Well, they found a way to make these things that we that we do in our childhood and make it a little bit more mature and acceptable for adulthood. And apparently, Julie's very religious about her show.
What?
And one day there'll be better actors and actresses
Hopefully.
on that show.
We can hope the acting gets better.
All right, I have a couple more here.
Maybe they'll cast Lana Del Rey.
Hopefully not John Mayer. I'll have to quit watching the show.
Yeah, you would hate it.
Well, Kid Rock's already been cast. So.
Can you tell that we spent the weekend together?
Yes.
Just wrong.
All right, well, moving on. Okay, Disney dad Kevin in Washington writes,
Disney did?
Dad,
Oh, okay, go ahead.
father. He writes, I visit the Magic Kingdom via Google Earth. I drive from my house to Orlando, and when I get there, I listen to audio guides as I go through the park, but I've never really left home. So this is a case of planning an imaginary vacation that's not actually going to be taken.
Okay, so he has Google Earth open, and he'll trace the route, just scrolling down the screen.
Well, listening to music.
He makes the road trip from wherever he lives.
How long does this take, maybe?
I don't have those specifics,
It's
Sean.
got to be in real time, so
Right.
he'll
45.
stop at a Burger King every now and then, a rest stop. He'll just randomly flick off the screen
Yes.
and scream.
All the road rage
obscenities.
is still there.
Yeah.
Well, what do we think about planning a vacation that's not going to happen?
Oh, I think that's horribly
Planning
depressing.
An
It is
imaginary
depressing.
vacation.
It is depressing.
But if that helps get him through the day,
I was going to
hey,
say,
go
I think
for
the
it.
opposite, actually.
It makes me want to start a fund to sponsor this guy and help him have a trip.
Well,
And where's his family? Are they not? Are they on the trip?
Maybe he doesn't have a family.
He's
Oh, wait,
sitting
he's
in
a
his
Disney dad, isn't he?
office
He's a dad,
all by
he has
himself.
He's got some family.
Well, he's cheating if he's doing it online too. He needs to go out and get a Rand McNally atlas and do
that
it the
brand.
Do it
Only
the
that
hard way.
brand.
Yeah, that's my atlas of
real
choice.
with
That's mine too,
markers.
actually.
Oh, yes. Rand McNally is the way to go.
Highlighters and-
They sponsored the show, actually, Rand McNally.
Do you guys not think that even when you can't get to Disney, maybe just some people really get into vacation planning, and so maybe planning an
there's-
imaginary trip is some kind of self-therapy?
Does he pick a hotel? Like all that stuff? Because
See, there's
that's
a
even
difference.
further depressing.
There's a difference between
I
between.
don't know, Kevin. We need to
making
hear
a
from
list.
you.
Oh wait, is this Disney dad or Kevin?
His name. He is a Disney dad named Kevin
Oh, okay.
that lives in Washington.
I think it's okay.
DC or state?
Oh God, he was in
You and I
Washington
are on the
State.
same page on
I
everything.
think he could be out at the bar drinking and picking up babes and
While doing this?
no, instead of doing this.
How do you know
Hey,
he doesn't
baby.
have a wife?
Well, I don't.
I think we're endorsing something bad here.
Oh my gosh.
I just
gonna hang
think
out
he
with
needs to get
JL.
out of his own mind and live where he's at. You know.
Yeah.
This is like a self-help show. Well, sir, good for you, but something needs to change in your
One
life.
thing to date. This is all like daydreaming, only with Google Map, right?
Well, yes, and that's the other thing. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm not the tech person, but don't we have other kinds of technology things and apps and whatever that we all do that takes us to these, do these imaginary things, and because they're tech toys, it's acceptable and it's fun. No, I'm wow, guys! If you could have seen the looks on everyone's faces right now when I said that.
we got nothing.
I wasn't following along. I apologize.
I was following along, but I'm trying to think of an app for a toy.
I think we have to convince Teresa.
What?
Because Teresa, for almost all of these, I'm not getting it.
I know we need to have an intervention.
No, I think she wants an intervention
know,
for me.
Yeah, Kathy needs help. I mean, okay. I can look around the room that we're in, and there are Disney touches in here that I absolutely love, and I would take into my home. But I would not do my home like this. I would not, and I daydream just as much as anybody else. It's a perfectly healthy, normal thing. But it's not obsessively, I'm daydreaming about, and I'm probably going to lose friends and Facebook people for this, but
I think you've already lost one.
I know, I've already lost one across the table. But I can't, I mean, if they're planning an entire trip, sure, I could do that in my head, but I wouldn't take too much time on it because you're not living in the moment then, I mean, but if you're doing something mundane that doesn't
Yeah.
take a lot of brain activity,
Right.
then by all means go for it.
It can be. You're
But if
saying,
you're with
saying
your
it's a
wife
good way
and
to pass the time,
you're
but
your
don't let it
spouse.
interfere with your
Yeah.
actual everyday life.
Yeah, if he's going
That's
into his
healthy.
office and leaving the family behind, to
Yeah,
do this,
shutting himself
then,
in there
then
and
that's
doing whatever with Disney.
Yeah.
You know?
But we don't know enough.
Oh
you
my
know.
gosh! Wow. Okay.
I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV.
How about on the podcast?
Yeah.
All right, I have one last confession. Disney wife Michelle in Ohio writes, I'm going to send my hubby's boss to Davy Jones's locker. My husband can't use his regular days off with his vacation time anymore, and this means that we're either going to have to leave late for our vacation or change our reservations. How dare that boss mess with my perfectly planned Disney trip? So this is a case of vacation planning interference, which can be very hard on a neurotic Disney vacation planner.
What's
I
she
think her
confessing
frustration is
here?
valid.
She's just frustrated.
She's
weird.
very mad because her, anal retentive vacation planning has been messed up.
Well, not even that.
Her husband or
Nowadays,
the husband's boss.
nowadays, with fast passes and everything, somebody messes with your days that you're going to come here. You may not be able to now get your Anna and Elsa fast pass, or I think 5 years ago that wasn't a problem where you could be upset, but now there really is something. The quality of your vacation has now changed. And yes, it's important to keep your job, but it's important to enjoy your vacation too.
Yeah, I think the frustration is valid. I mean, obviously, there's probably not too much she can do. They have to do what the boss
Maybe
says.
he didn't really want to go, and he just told her that.
That would be wrong.
Right?
Yeah.
True. But so how would you deal with this? How would you handle this situation?
I'd, try to give some hints or tips to the husband to say, hey, this is what you should say to the boss.
God. What you do is the wife and the kids go, and the husband comes when he can. You soldier on through.
So you wouldn't write Pirates of the Caribbean fan fiction involving the boss going to Davy Jones's
I
locker,
just found that weird. I'm going to put him in David Jones's life.
or whatever it was.
That's a little extreme.
Yeah, I kind of took it a differently because sometimes bosses aren't all that reasonable, and I don't know that I'd want to risk upsetting that boat. But maybe try to look at the brighter side of it, and rather than being villainous or whatever, just plan a new vacation. I mean, Disney fans love planning vacations. We have Kevin in Washington who plans them even when he's not going. So, this is just maybe another opportunity to hone the vacation planning skills.
Sherry says she would leave her husband.
I would just take the kids and go, and he can come when he can. I mean, if it's
That's actually
if it's
a really good compromise.
boss-related thing, and it's just shortening your trip a little bit. Just bye, honey. Here's some food for you to eat.
But
Come
see,
and join us when you can.
Not all women are like you that would do that. Some women are like,
Oh, like my sister who, I can't, she doesn't watch the show. I can't go anywhere without my husband.
Yeah.
Some people are like that.
I know, and I understand that, and that's fine. That's cool.
I mean, if you're going to lose your job over your Disney vacation, well, you've got to pick your job.
Yeah. That's a little extreme.
So, you have to figure out where that line is. And if it means, going.
as long as it's okay and it's
Right,
mutually
right.
agreed upon, because if you've already got the trip planned, and you've already got your fast passes to go,
Or you're going to lose money because now
right, you're within
you
a
know.
certain time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Compromise people.
Wow, we agreed on something.
What a great way to end the show on that happy note. Okay. Yeah. So that is actually going to do it for this week's show. We hope that you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next time for another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Thanks for joining us. And remember, for your own personal safety, please avoid all natural bodies of water and keep your hands inside the boat.